Hey internet, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another full face makeup of a specific beauty brand. Today I am doing Maybelline, which I'm so excited for because I already know I really love Maybelline. They have some of my most favorite products, especially the Falsies mascara, which I will not be using in this video because I already know I love it. I've been through like 8 tubes of them in my lifetime. But they recently, or not so recently, I think this came out a while back and I'm just really slow. But they came up with this new mascara, the Colossal or something, and I really wanted to try it. So that's kind of what triggered this whole, let's do a Maybelline video. I've been wanting to do lots more of these just to kind of force me out of my comfort zone a little bit and try different makeup. So yeah, let's just get right into it. All right, so I'm going to start off with base, and I ended up getting 2 shades because I wasn't really sure which shade I am in. I will state that I haven't really been going to the physical shops, so a lot of this stuff came from Chemist Warehouse and I didn't actually buy it like physically looking at it. I bought most of it online, which makes it really hard to color match things like concealers and foundations. Pretty much everything else is fine because it's pretty standard, but foundations and concealers are always really hard. So I decided to go with their Dream Radiant Liquid, and I've got 2 shades. So I've got a lighter one here in Fair Porcelain, and then I've got another one here in Porcelain Ivory. So I almost feel like I'm in between them. Like this seems too light, but this might be a bit closer, just a little dark. So I might mix them. I mentioned in like a previous video, I think my Rumble video, that I really love mixing foundations just because I feel like it's the easiest way to get like the exact match for you. And with sun and everything, I feel like skin tone is always changing. So that's why I will say I have not actually ever used these foundations before. So I'm not really sure how they perform, but let's just see. All right, so the Porcelain Ivory is feels a little bit orangey. Like I don't think it's actually too dark for me, but it does feel a bit orangey for me. It's always difficult with tones, so I'm just gonna, okay. Now I've got the Fair Porcelain, so you can kind of see the difference here. They look way more different on the palette than they do in the tubes. I feel like a genuine artist when I use this to try and mix them. I think I'm just going to actually mix them both together and just see what sort of shade I get. So this is sort of what I'm getting. It looks really bright because I'm just shining light back to the camera. Is it better? You can kind of see. So that's the color. I feel like that's a better match for my skin tone. We will find out. We will find out. It feels a little on the lighter side, but I don't know. I just kind of had a feeling the dark one may be a bit too, well, it's not even that dark. I think it was just the wrong tone. I think it was just too orangey for me. But I have found that generally foundation can be pretty forgiving. As long as you're in a specific range, then usually you can blend it out and it will just sort of be pretty okay. It's not very full coverage. I don't know if it's supposed to be. Just hydrating. Okay, yeah, collagen hydrating. That's kind of like the selling point of this foundation. Do you notice a difference? I should have actually just done one half of my face, right? That's like the proper way to do it. And because I haven't filmed videos and so long, I have no idea how to do it. Although I say that, I've already filmed a couple of videos and I still feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. So it's probably going to be a lot of me saying that until probably never stop saying that, because I'll always feel like I'm a bit out of the loop. I don't know, like you can film videos for so many years, even if you don't take a break. Like with my plan videos, that was something that I was filming consistently for like years on end, no break. And every time I film a video, I still felt like I was doing kind of a crappy job and not doing it right and somehow just always stuffing it up. I don't know. Maybe this is just some things. I feel a bit better if I cover my eyelid. I feel like it evens it out. But that looks really bright. Okay, let me just keep blending. Hopefully with a bit of bronzer and powder I can like settle down. But yeah, it's like I never feel like I get the hang of it. Even I could do it for years and years, and I still feel like there's so much to learn and I could do things so much better. Okay, now I feel like I look a bit like a ghost. Although, see, I feel like it matches my neck a little bit better, but maybe not my like arms. But I generally prefer foundations to be on the lighter side. It's just a personal preference. Whereas some people put tanner because they like to tan their skin. I'm not a tanning person at all. I'm like quite the opposite. I like avoid the sun as much as I can. Okay, it is a little light. It's a little on the light side, but that's okay. I actually don't mind this foundation though. It is, once you put on a decent amount, I actually don't mind it. It feels pretty nice on the skin. I feel like it's smooth, it's got good coverage. It's not, I think it's probably like more medium coverage than like full coverage. So, I mean, essentially this is 1.5 pumps because I mixed 2 pumps together and I have a little bit left on the palette. So I feel like this is like 1.5. So 1.5 gives you decent coverage. I think if you did 1, you'd kind of get a bit more sheerer finish. Yeah, probably not my most favorite. I'm just looking at myself in the mirror if you're wondering why I look here. And if I look there, it's because I'm looking at a screen of what the camera's seeing. But yeah, I'm not like instantly impressed, but I think I would use this. But I think I need to use it a bit more to kind of form a stronger opinion. But so far I'm liking it. Yeah, so far I would probably recommend it. So I have one concealer. I'm hoping this is a good color. It looks like it might be too pink, but who knows. I'm just gonna use a little bit for my under eyes because I feel like I look a little vampire-ish now. Like my skin looks light, my lips are like darker, but my under eyes are still pretty dark. So I'll use this SuperStay Maybelline. It's not from the same range, but I think this is something I ordered a little while back. So I've got it in Ivory, which might be the lightest shade. I have no idea, but we will see. I haven't used, to be honest, when I think about it, I don't think I've used much Maybelline base products before. Like most of the products I've used from them are eye-related stuff, so I don't have as much experience with face. So, oh, it doesn't look that. Always, every time I see it in the LCD and I look in the mirror, it always looks a little different. So then I'm like, even when I see it on the LCD screen, it looks a certain way, and then when I edit it in post, it feels like it looks a different way again. So I can never really tell what people are seeing, but let's just go for it. I would normally try to use a beauty blender for a lot of this, but I don't have that available right now, so I'm just going to use a brush instead. And don't worry about the creases in my eyes. We'll get rid of that later when we do eyeshadow. I don't really worry too much about it. You know, I actually quite like this concealer though. I feel like it's doing a really good job at covering my under eyes. Yeah, I actually really like this concealer. It's probably, it's a pretty good coverage. Not pretty good coverage. It's got pretty good coverage. It kind of is in the vein of the Tarte Shape Tape, but I feel like the Tarte Shape Tape is like just so good. It's just so creamy and it's so full coverage. But I like this for maybe something like coverage where you don't want it to be too strong, but you still want a little bit of like under eye. Like I feel like my under eyes are lighter. Yeah, okay, cool. I really like this. I would definitely recommend it. Okay, when I said I didn't have a beauty blender, I lied. I have a dry beauty blender, so that's what I'm going to use for the next step. So I have 2 setting powders. One is loose, one is pressed. I usually always use loose for baking, so under eye or any places I don't want to crease, and then I'll use the pressed one for the rest of my face. I don't really like doing it the other way around or using the same one for the whole thing unless I'm traveling and I don't have much choice because I don't want to carry too much, but that's just generally how I like. That's why I prefer to have both on hand. So this is the Maybelline Lasting Fix Loose Setting Powder All Day Matte Finish. It's in translucent. It doesn't have a shade to it, so you can see the powder is quite translucent. I've not actually used this face powder before. There's a specific brush that I would generally use for my under eyes that I cannot find, that I cannot for the life of me find, because I suspect it is at another desk. Not ideal brush, but hopefully enough to at least just set my under eyes so it doesn't crease too much. I usually have like a frown line and under eyes. Not really the sides of my nose, but sometimes. You try your best not to breathe it in. And then for the rest of the face, I'm going in with this new matte maker from Maybelline in 10 Classic Ivory. So I feel like I've used this before because it seems really familiar. I don't have it in my collection, so I had to buy this one. It's like a twist. Am I doing this wrong? It's stuck somewhere. Why is it so hard to open? It's extra hard because I have like these little cuts on my fingers. So it's like a little painful. Yeah, I feel like I've used this before sometime in the past. And I think I like it. Like, I think I have good memories of it. But I haven't been able to find it in my collection. That's why I had to buy it again. I can't... Okay. There we go. Maybe I won't close it too hard. My face. I think it's hard to have like an opinion on face powder unless you've like worn it for the day. So you can see how it handles like oily skin or any greasiness throughout the day. So, but based on just like a vague memory of having used this before, I feel like I like this. All right, let's get straight into the eyes. I have two options for eye primer in that I don't think I actually... Oh my gosh. Oh, by the way, I totally missed it because I tucked it into a different pocket. These are two other Maybelline concealers. I'm not using this video because I've used them before, but I just want to kind of shout them out because I love them. I have two of the same. I don't know why. They're just in different shades, actually. That's why. But it's the Instant Age Rewind Eraser, and it's basically a twist. These are brand new. That's why they look clean. And you have this little like doe foot, not doe foot, fuzzy foot applicator. It comes through and then you just kind of swipe it, and then blend it through. Oops, hope I didn't start using it. I've used these before. I think I've been through one or two of these in the past. They're so good. Like, they're really, really good. So these concealers are probably one of my favorite concealers as well, like top 10 concealers. So I didn't use it because I knew that I would really love it, and I wanted to try this other SuperStay, which I guess I really love this too. So I suppose I really love Maybelline concealers. But if you are looking for a new concealer, I recommend you try this. These are like super popular. So if you're watching this video and you're into makeup, I'm assuming you probably already tried them at some point because they're very accessible, such good coverage. Really recommend them. All right, back into eyes. I couldn't find a primer. I'm not sure if it's just because they were sold out and it wasn't available online, but I personally struggled to find an actual primer. So I decided to just go with cream shadows because they work well as a base as well. So I picked out two colors. One is Front Runner and one is Socialite. And I think I'm gonna go with Front Runner because, should I? Maybe I should go with Socialite. Let's see what they look like. So this is Front Runner, and it's this like really nice champagne gold color. And then this one is Socialite, and it's a bit more of a deeper rose gold color. So I guess it depends what look you're going for. I think I might still use Front Runner, just because it's lighter, so I think it's going to give me a little bit more room to play with. But I remember having these like back in the day when they first came out. These are the Color Tattoo 24 Hour. when they first came out years and years ago, I think I managed to grab a few of them, and I remember really liking them. So these are brand new because those ones, the ones I had previously, I've had thrown out. They're old now. And what I usually do is just go in with my ring finger and then just apply on my lid. And I really love, I have no idea if they're meant to be a base, but I really love the shine it gives on the eyelids. But because it's cream, I have to set it with powder, so that's why I'm still going to go in with an eyeshadow powder. You know, I have seen some YouTubers use concealer as eye primer as well, so I could have done that, but that's an option. Alright, so the eyeshadow palette I'm going to be using today, and that's part of why I use Frontrunner, because I feel like it matches with this one a bit more. It's the Nude of New York. There is quite a few different versions of this palette. I think it's like Blush of New York or whatever. I can't remember. I'm making that totally up right now. But, I mean, it's a nude palette, so I felt like this was the safest one to go with. And there's lots of like more warmer toned shades. So I'm going to try for something. I'm still going to go for neutral. I'm not like very experimental with my eyes generally. I want to be, but I think it's going to take a lot more than just a couple YouTube videos to get there. So yeah, let's go in and try these out. So I'm going to start with this color here, Creator, and use that as kind of like an all over base transition color. This is kind of a new technique I'm trying that I'm not totally convinced I'm able to pull off just yet. Because usually what I do is I put a very light base color on the eyelid, and then the transition color I'll put directly into my crease. But I've seen some YouTubers actually just put the transition color all over their eyelid and then just blend it up, and then they start to apply, say, the lighter shades or stuff on top. Usually they'll still need to dip back into a cream product so that the lighter shades are able to show up quite well. But I kind of like this look because I feel like the gradient effect between the eyeshadows is a lot more like, there's more gradient, that's what I mean. I don't know why I can't speak English when I do my makeup, but there's a bit more of a gradient effect between all the colors if you do it this way, from what I've seen. I haven't really done a lot of it yet, so I'm still kind of in that learning phase, but from what I've seen, it looks like you get a better gradient effect. Although for my day-to-day, I still just default to how I'm used to doing my makeup because I trust the process. No one has called me out as being weird yet at work, having weird makeup, so I feel like it makes the most sense. And I'm going to take some of that color just down to my lower lash line. I never really did this step in previous videos. I don't know if you've watched my makeup looks for a while, you'll know that I don't tend to do much underneath my eyes, but I've really started to like doing this. It just feels more, I don't know, put together. So now I want a crease color just to sort of deepen that. I'm going to go in with this one here called Self Starter. It's right at the edge. You're going to notice I really gravitate towards mattes. Don't know why, I just feel really comfortable. Wow, it's really dark. Just a little bit, just because it is so deep. Blend this out. Say so far, I really like the eyeshadows from Maybelline. I tried the Rimmel one in the previous videos, and I really did not like those eyeshadows. They were like hard to work with. They weren't pigmented, and then when they were on, I wasn't able to blend them out really well. But I feel like the Maybelline ones, at least this palette, is working really well. It's blending pretty good. I mean, the darker shades, you probably just need the lightest of hands because it is quite pigmented. Okay, what do you think? This eye versus this eye. I quite like this eye. I will say this shade is so pigmented. I feel like I have to be really careful, just like dabbing it on and then quickly trying to blend it in. Lastly, on the inner corner, I'm going to use this shade here, Originator. This one, not that one, this one. Just here. I'm gonna use my finger to get any on the actual lid. It's not showing up. It's showing up in the inner corner, but not on the actual lid. And I kind of wanted it to blend out across the lid a little bit. But it might not be pigmented enough. That's okay. And then I'll just take it just a little bit on the inner thirds, on the lower inner thirds. Alright, I think I'm pretty okay with eyeshadow. It's pretty basic, there's nothing really to it, but I really do like these eyeshadows. They're actually quite nice. I'm kind of excited to try a little bit more of them. They do have a lot of kickback though. I don't know if you can see that after using Creator quite a bit, it's kicked up a lot and transferred to some of the other shadows around, so you just want to brush that off, or blow it off rather, but really liking these eyeshadows. I have another palette here called the Nudes. This is an older one. I've had this for a little while now and I've used it quite a bit, and I really love this particular eyeshadow palette as well. So I have a bit more experience with the eye products in Maybelline, and I really love their, I mean, I haven't tried a ton of their eyeshadows, but so far so good. I really love this palette, which I use quite a bit. It's a bit more neutral in comparison to this one. I tend to gravitate to more neutral, cool tone shades. I don't know why, I just feel like it suits me better. But I wanted to like go out of my comfort zone a little and try this warm one, and I really quite like it. So thumbs up for the eyeshadows. So there is actually a gel, like a gel pot eyeliner that Maybelline used to make. I think they still do make it. I feel like I vaguely remember seeing it online. But I bought it, did I buy it? I can't remember, but it was like ages ago. I had it and I used it, and I cannot remember why I wasn't the biggest fan. I usually remember gel liners that I really love, and it wasn't one that I fell in love with. So when I went back to looking for a new liner, I decided to just go for a liquid pen. It is felt. So felt is not my favorite. I prefer if it could be a brush, like a thick brush. I just feel like it's a bit more flexible. But this will do as well. So let me see how I go with this. Hopefully I don't screw it up. I almost jabbed myself in the eye. I don't know if you saw it. There's this video I've been seeing on Instagram of Ariana. I think she's like Ariana Grande. And I think she's talking about her makeup brand, Rem. And there's a scene of her doing her eyeliner, and she's just like whoosh, whoosh, like really fast, really precise, and she just has like the most killer eyeliner and the best flick. And I'm like, that's confidence. I don't think I would dare do that. I don't think I'm like terrible at eyeliner, but I definitely could use some improvement. I think that's my eyeliner done. I'm pretty happy with it, but I'm definitely not the biggest fan of the felt tip. I feel like it drags a little bit too much as well. The brushes just seem to glide a little bit more seamlessly, so I would prefer it to be a brush. I think it was either L'Oreal or the Australis brand has a really nice brush one, so I would probably pick that over this, but it's not bad. I would definitely use it and finish it up. I feel like this is going to dry out really fast though. I just get this feeling, even though it's pretty new, I've only used it a couple times, it already feels like it's going to run out of pigmentation. I think it's partly because when you put on your eyeliner, it picks up a lot of the pigment from your eyeshadow and it transfers into the formula, and maybe that's what's drying it out faster. I don't know, it's just a uninformed speculation. And now we move on to mascara, which is the part that I've been really excited to try. So this is the Colossal Curl Bounce. You can get it in a waterproof version, but I'm not a big fan of waterproof mascaras, even though I probably should be, because when I cry, I just like look like a raccoon afterwards. But I find them really hard to remove at the end of the day. So yeah, that's why. Okay, I don't know if the mascara is just too new, like it's the first time I'm using it. But I'm not really that impressed by it. Definitely putting product on, it's defining my lashes, but besides that, it's not really doing much else. I feel like it's just defining it and adding a bit of length to it. Sometimes I find that mascaras perform better after they've been open for a little while. Maybe it just thickens up the formula, but I don't feel like this formula is too liquid or thin. I feel like it's pretty thick already, but I'm not getting the results I'm expecting. My favorite sort of mascaras are like full lengthening and volumizing. Like I want both. I'm greedy that way, so I want to have both of best worlds. And I feel like the falsies achieve that really well. So I don't know what you guys think when I look. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. It's not like the best mascara I've tried, but it's definitely not in like falsies where it's just like boom and it's just really voluminous and beautiful. This is still really good. I'm definitely going to keep using it, but I feel like it's, if you're looking for something like the falsies or Lancome Hypnose, which are like my two staples, this is probably like a little under it. It's not quite there. So it's a good mascara. It's just like maybe my expectations were too high. Maybe I was just expecting too much. But I think the result's not good. Like when I look at, oh, sorry, I'm playing with my hair. It's really annoying. Like when I look in the mirror, I can see that my lashes stand out. So I feel like it's nice. All right, now we get to move on to brows, and I'm actually excited. I have so many brow products. I'm not sure why I ended up buying so many brow products from Maybelline, but it just kind of worked out that way. So one is a clear mascara gel. So I would definitely use that. And then this one is a tinted brow gel, which I probably won't use that because I don't really need tinted brow gels. What I really need is just something to fill in gaps in my eyebrows, because my eyebrows for the most part are pretty okay. I don't have much of an issue with them. To be honest, sometimes, well actually most of the time, I'm not gonna lie. Most of the time I just sort of brush them through with a bit of clear gel and then I'm good to go. But if I want to look nice, then I will fill it out with a gel pencil. So I'm excited to try this one because this reminds me of the gel pencils I typically use. Gel pencils, what am I talking about? This reminds me of the brow pencils that I typically use. The ones from like Anastasia or Benefit. The Mecca one is really good too. There are some ones in Asian cosmetics like Can Make and Kate, which produce really nice ones. So those are like my go-to. I have like a gazillion backups of them because they have the right shade. That's the other thing. Oh yeah, the Anastasia Brow Wiz in Granite. That's my favorite. That's probably my most favorite, but I also think Soft Black from Benefit is actually really good. They're kind of like really close, but I love that their color is black, or it's like a soft gray black. That's my color. Whereas most brands, unfortunately, like this one, don't know if you can tell, but it is a really dark brown. And I don't like using dark brown for my hair because I feel like my hair is pretty black. Like I don't color it. This is just naturally how it is. And so dark brown on my brows tend to stand out. But I wanted to try it because like mechanism wise, it looks so close to the ones I'm used to. So I thought I would just give it a shot. If it doesn't match my brow hair color, then it doesn't match. So let's give it a shot. So what I'm going to do, I'll take the spoolie on the other end, just brush through my hairs so they're not all sagging down. I feel like I need to like do a bit of brow maintenance as well. They're getting a little bit out of hand. And then I have a little gap here that I always like to fill, which I do lightly because I have eczema. But I do it really lightly because I'm not trying to make my brows stand out more. I'm just trying to fill out the gaps. And it's not too bad. I can tell it's dark. You can tell it's a brown color if I look up close, but I think maybe, is it obvious on camera? I don't know. Yeah, I feel like honestly if you do a before and after of me doing my brows and not, I don't know if most people would notice much of a difference. So I'm going to take the clear brow gel, that's what the spoolie looks like, it's really tiny, and just brush. Okay, the brush, hopefully in the close-up you'll see that the brush is like bigger or longer on one end and shorter on the other. So there's like one side used for brushing. And that just hopefully keeps my hairs set. But yeah, so like, I think you do notice a difference. It just looks a little bit more neatened. Back to the face, I want to put on some blush and highlighter. I don't typically use bronzer, even though in this scenario I felt like I probably could have used some bronzer because I felt like my foundation was on the lighter side. But I'm just going to not put bronzer on because I don't have it. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me in Coral. And I've used, not this color before, but I've used blushes like this before, the Fit Me Broth blushes. I think I've used the Fit Me powder before as well, Fit Me foundation. Those were okay, but this blush, I feel like you can't go wrong with Coral. I think Coral is like the color that suits my skin tone the best in terms of blushes. So I felt safe using that, even though the Fit Me range was not my favorite range of all time, I still felt pretty safe using it. It's not too bad. It's showing up, so that's always a good, but it's not a very strong blush, if that makes sense. Like, it's not super pigmented, so if you want something that shows up, especially on camera, because I noticed that what's subtle and nice in person will almost be invisible on camera, so what looks subtle and nice on camera tends to be a little bit more heavy-handed in person. It's just the way the camera works, so I have to go in about twice on each cheek just to build up the shade. I probably could just go in with a heavier hand, but it's easier to build up than to take away. I don't mind it. I quite like this blush. It's not like a standout blush or anything like that, but it'll do. And now the highlighter I have, I'm actually a little bit unsure if I want to use it because, look, this is not really the sort of highlighter I use. I feel like this is much more suitable for deeper tones. But when I saw it, I thought, oh, it looks like such a nice highlighter, so I got it anyways. It is the Master Chrome by Face Studio Metallic Highlighter in Molten Gold. I mean, it is stunning. It's such a beautiful highlighter, but I think I may ruin my makeup if I use this. Oh, let me swatch it. Oh, wow. It's nice. Yeah, I'm not going to put this on my face. This is not a good color match for my skin tone. I think it's going to be too deep. Really nice, and I probably will use it for all over the lid eyeshadow, but I'm pretty okay with my makeup right now. I don't quite want to ruin it and then I have to take all my makeup off. Not that I'm really going anywhere, but I kind of just want to have nice makeup for the day, you know? So I'm not going to use that. That's a bummer. I kind of would like to have used a highlighter, but based on the swatch alone, it seems really nice. If you can get it in a shade that suits you, then it probably is worth trying. Lucky last, we are finally onto the lips, the last part. I bought this lip crayon. It's SuperStay ink crayon in, what color are you? Stay Exceptional. And it's like a dusty mauvey pink, which is perfect for me. I think it's a beautiful like twist up crayon. It smells really nice. It's like coconuts? I can't tell. I'm not even that big of a fan of coconuts. I like that it's really sharp at the tip, but I know that's going to wear off once you start using it. It's going on really easy. And it's smooth. By the way, at the bottom there's a little sharpener, so if you do want to keep the tip sharp, you could always do that. I don't tend to do that because I worry I waste the product too much. So I just use lip liner. I like it. This color is probably a little bit on the deep side for me, like for day-to-day wear. I tend to like more pinky nude colors, but I like it. It feels really comfortable. So yeah, I would recommend this. And I think that's pretty much it. Those are all the Maybelline products I have purchased or had on hand for this video. Let's start with the stand-up products. I would definitely say concealer. They have really, really good concealers, so definitely try those out. I really love the mascara in general. I love the mascara family. This one was not my favorite of the mascaras, but the falsies. Like, if you have not tried the falsies, you have to try the falsies. They're so good. Eyeshadow is really good. I really love the Color Tattoo 24-hour stay. What did I say that? 24 Color Tattoo 24-hour cream eyeshadows. These are like cult favorites, I believe, anyway. So I feel like most people would have heard of them and loved them. And what else? I like the powder. The face powder, so far, I really like the face powder. That was good too. And the lip product. In terms of okay, the brow, I think if you can get this in the shade that suits you, then I think you'll be fine. It just so happens that dark brown, which was the darkest I could find, is just not a suitable color for me. But I would recommend that. The foundation is pretty good too, so I would recommend that. I mean, I feel like I'm recommending most of the things here. I'm just looking at all the products on my table and I'm like, I think I'm recommending most of them. Pretty much all of them, because Maybelline's generally pretty good. I haven't really found a Maybelline product that I thought, oh, this is horrible. Like, no, I would not use this. So, yeah, maybe the eyeliner, the liquid eyeliner. This one I probably wouldn't recommend, but that's because I don't like felt tip liners. So it could be just more of a me thing than a product thing, but that's one that I definitely wouldn't purchase again. I just find it too difficult to use. But yeah, and the blush, maybe the blush. it's okay, but I feel like you could get a nicer quality, more pigmented, more just beautiful general blush somewhere else. Like, it's a very mediocre blush to me. But yeah, I hope you found this video useful. I will link all the products down below. Thank you so much for watching. This is Celina reporting from my room. Back to the internet.